Before Nike, before Adidas, before fast fashion took over America, there were clothing brands that almost every American family recognized instantly. These brands weren't just companies. They were part of everyday American life. People saw them in shopping malls, downtown clothing stores, family vacations, old TV commercials, and faded magazine ads sitting on living room tables. And at one point, some of these brands felt completely unstoppable. But today, most younger Americans have never even heard their names. Some disappeared slowly, others vanished almost overnight. And honestly, looking back at these brands feels like opening a time capsule from a completely different America. An America of neon signs, small-town shopping streets, 1950s family vacations, cowboy television shows, and old department stores packed with weekend shoppers. So today, we're going back through some of the most forgotten clothing brands that once ruled America. And some of them were so popular, it's honestly shocking they disappeared. Back in the 1920s through the 1950s, one swimwear brand seemed to dominate American beach culture: Jantzen. If you've ever seen old vintage beach posters with bright colors and classic Americana vibes, you've probably already seen their famous diving girl logo. At a time when family beach vacations were becoming a huge part of American culture, Jantzen became the swimwear brand many middle-class families trusted. Their ads showed the perfect American summer: sunny beaches, smiling families, simple moments. And for decades, the brand became deeply connected to old-school summer memories in America. But as fashion trends changed and newer companies modernized faster, Jantzen slowly faded from mainstream culture. Today, most younger Americans would probably never recognize the name. But while Jantzen focused on family beach culture, another swimwear company focused on something far more glamorous: Catalina. During the 1940s and 1950s, Catalina became one of America's biggest swimsuit brands. And unlike the simple family image of earlier companies, Catalina sold the fantasy of luxury summer living: Hollywood-style beauty, fashion shows, perfect beaches, perfect smiles. Their advertisements looked almost cinematic. The company even sponsored beauty pageants and major fashion events, making the brand feel elegant and aspirational. For many Americans, Catalina represented the dream version of summer. But like many classic American brands, the culture eventually changed. Fashion trends evolved. New companies entered the market, and Catalina slowly disappeared from mainstream relevance. Today, it survives mostly as a forgotten memory from old magazine ads and vintage American summers. But beaches and summer fashion weren't the only things shaping old American style, because another brand built its identity around cowboys, Western television, and rugged American culture. One of the most recognizable clothing brands in early American history wasn't famous for luxury fashion at all. It was famous for underwear: Munsingwear. Back in the early 1900s through the 1960s, Munsingwear became one of the biggest names in American underclothing. The company became especially known for its union suits, which were extremely common during that era. And while it may sound funny today, brands like Munsingwear became part of everyday American life for millions of people. Their advertisements appeared everywhere: newspapers, magazines, store displays. At one point, the company was so recognizable that many Americans instantly knew the name. And in many ways, Munsingwear represents a simpler period of American consumer culture, a time when everyday household brands became deeply connected to family life. But as fashion and clothing manufacturing changed, the company slowly lost its dominance. And today, most younger Americans have probably never heard of it. But for many Americans, and finally, one of the forgotten brands that perfectly captured the look of old professional America: Curlee Clothes. During the 1940s through the 1960s, Curlee became known for classic men's suits and formal wear. At a time when dressing professionally mattered far more than it does today, brands like Curlee helped define the appearance of working American men. Their clothing reflected the style of post-war America: clean suits, sharp collars, traditional office fashion. Looking back now, it almost feels like an entirely different world, because modern American fashion became far more casual over time. And as workplace culture changed, many classic suit brands slowly disappeared from mainstream relevance, including Curlee. Today, the brand is rarely remembered outside vintage fashion circles. But in its prime, it helped shape the image of the American businessman for an entire generation. These brands weren't just companies. They were part of everyday American life. They appeared in family vacations, shopping trips, television commercials, old photographs, and memories people still talk about decades later. And even though most of these brands disappeared, they still represent a version of America many people feel nostalgic for today. An America of downtown department stores, classic advertisements, family-owned shopping culture, and simpler moments that now feel incredibly distant. And honestly, that's probably why videos like this feel so interesting, because they remind people that entire pieces of culture can slowly vanish over time, without most of us even noticing. If this video brought back memories for you, or reminded you of stories from your parents or grandparents, let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy exploring forgotten pieces of old America, make sure to subscribe, because there are still many more lost American brands, stores, and traditions left to uncover.